two people work at the same company, same building, same hours. One of them will probably never be able to retire, while the other will retire with more money than he could ever spend in his lifetime. And what's surprising is that very often, it's not the harder worker or even the smarter one. The pattern I see so often in workplaces is that the person who ends up rich is one of the worst at the actual job, because there is no correlation between how hard you work and how much money you earn. If that's the case, all billionaires should be the hardest workers in the room, right? So, what's the difference between these two people? Well, one of them sells their time, while the other owns the game. The way we make money is broken, and that's exactly why working hard alone is never going to be enough to get you rich. Let me explain. Every job is a game, and every game has its own set of rules. So what gets you paid, what gets you promoted, and how to behave, those are the rules. But the question is, who wrote those rules? Of course, it's the owner, right? So learning how each owner writes their own company's rules is the key to playing the game. Some employees figure this out very quickly and climb the ranks, while some unfortunate ones never got the memo. They keep working hard in all the wrong places and then wonder why they are missed for the next promotion. But here's the thing I want you to notice. Even the ones who climb, they hit the ceiling. And that's because the rules were always written to extract maximum profit. You produce 100, you take home 30. The other 70 goes to the person who owns the game. Now, flip the tables around. Imagine you hire someone to work for you. Ask yourself, would you give them 70 and keep just 30 for yourself? Of course not, right? And that's exactly why the system works the way it does. So, at the end of the day, a great player is still just a player. And a player in someone else's game will always be paid by someone else's rules. So the obvious question comes, right? Why aren't you already building your own game? Because nobody ever taught you how. Now think about the path you were put on. An exam result from a primary school gets you into a secondary school. Then another result gets you into college, and another one to get into university. For another result, to do what? To hopefully land a job. Every single rung trained you to become a better player in someone else's game. Not one of them trained you to own one. All while draining your money so that by the time you graduate and actually find a job, your net worth is already negative from all the education debt. How does that even make sense? And the worst thing is this, even a degree is no longer a guarantee of employment anymore. Look at what's happening now. In 2025, China graduated a record 12.2 million students in a single year, and youth employment climbed towards 19%. In South Korea, 69% of all young adults now hold a degree, the highest rate in the developed world. And yet, roughly 4 in 10 graduates still couldn't find work after months of searching. In the United States, a 4-year degree now costs about 40% more than it did in the year 2000, while the wage advantage it buys barely moved. And more than half of new graduates are now working in jobs that never needed the degree at all. This is a supply and demand issue. When everyone is handed the rare thing, it stops becoming rare. We've flooded the market with qualifications, and yet the number of high-paying jobs either remain the same or, even worse, fell in number. Too many degrees chasing too few jobs. The result can only be disappointment and unemployment. So hear me out. The old system is breaking. Those who choose to remain in the system will only find the rules increasingly unfair. So stop pouring everything into becoming a slightly better player and start owning a piece of your own board. That doesn't mean quit tomorrow and gamble everything. That's not what I'm saying. It means own something. A side business, equity, a product, a skill you can sell directly. Own something. Instead of working 40 hours a week for a boss who wouldn't even pay you fairly, own something that earns while you're not there. Use AI, use anything. Start small. Start badly, but start owning. It sounds daunting, right? It's meant to be. Buckminster Fuller said this: to change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. You'll never get rich playing someone else's game harder. You get rich the day you stop asking what the rules are and start writing your own.